You know, I didn't even notice this till now, but this is my third straight Activision Atari review. Activision had a habit of putting a high quality product out there, and Frostbite is no exception. You control an Eskimo named Frostbite Bailey, whose goal is to build an igloo before the timer, which is measured in degrees, runs out. Up top is the land portion of the screen, and down below is the water portion, which is occupied by 4 rows of ice blocks. By landing on a piece of ice, it will turn that respective row of ice blue, and a piece of the igloo is put into place. When the ice is blue, you can still walk on it, but it won't add any pieces to the igloo. Once all 4 rows have been used, they all reset back to white again, where you can continue to use them. When 15 pieces are put into place, the igloo is built and you can enter the door which ends the level. Now, it isn't quite that simple. You have to avoid hazards. The largest hazard is the water itself. Landing in it will cause you to perish. There are also low-flying birds, crab, and these chompy things that are supposed to be clams. What the fuck is a clam gonna do to you? And when the hell do you ever see one floating above the surface? Well, all these creatures push you into the water. Once you get caught by one, you're screwed. There's no escape. Not all of these animals are trying to kill you, though. The little green fish that swim by will give you points if you eat them. I guess clams are higher on the food chain than fish, not to mention humans. After a few levels, the land portion is no longer a haven, as a huge goddamn polar bear will occupy this area, and he is ruthless. Contact with him will cause you to, chase you off the screen or something. You die though, that's all you need to know. Also, as the levels progress, the ice blocks and enemies will all stop moving faster, making the game increasingly difficult. There are also 3 different forms of ice platforms. There's the regular patches of ice, then there's a bunch of little ice pieces which actually make the entire row accessible, and finally there's the hybrid of the 2. It will seemingly look like the ice pieces at first glance, but then the pieces break off and form the regular blocks, and then back and forth. So sometimes it's accessible all the way across, and sometimes it's not. Also, like I mentioned earlier, you're racing against the timer, which is measured by degrees. It starts out at 45 and gets colder by the second. Once it hits 0, you'll get full body frostbite and die. If you press the fire button while standing on an ice patch, you'll reverse the direction it's going, but will cost you a piece of the igloo. It's worth it though if you're in danger. There's also a 2-player alternating mode and 2 difficulty settings. The harder difficulty essentially starts you off at a later level, with the polar bear already waiting for you. The graphics are pretty good, especially on the enemies in the water, and the polar bear is pretty distinguishable. I also like the day to night transition once you make it to the later levels, and how the inside of the igloo during these night stages is lit up. Although the flickering makes it look like either the igloo is on fire or they haven't been paying the electric bill. The best part of the game is the fluid controls, as the quick decision making that you'll have to execute makes good control necessary for making this a good game. And I have to say that they succeed.